Cross-feeding is when one bacteria produces a postbiotic product that then
Yeah.
supports the other bacteria. And this is very common in the ecosystem. And actually, I was looking at so there was a really key study that came out, not a perfect study, but it was a study put out by Stanford University back in 2021 when I was writing my book. And the study looked at a high fiber diet versus a high fermented foods diet,
Hmm.
and what the effect was on different measures of microbial diversity, as well as different blood measures of inflammation, including not just C-reactive protein, but looking at cytokine activation of macrophages. And again, it was one of those things where you're thinking, fiber rich, eat the rainbow, that's certainly going to create microbial diversity in the gut. And this was a 17-week study. They had very specific dietary recommendations for each group. The fiber-rich group was told to eat about 5 to 8 servings of fiber per day, so fiber-rich vegetables. And so to put that in grams, the most of the people in the fiber-rich group were eating like 12 to 20 some grams. And during the intervention, they increased it over 4 weeks, then got to a 6-week period when they kept it at that high level, and they went up to 40 grams, 40 some grams. So they more than doubled, some of them. For the fermented rich, or the high fermented foods group, they, on average, before the intervention, were having like 0.4 serving per day, so 0.4 cup. And they had them increase to 4 to 6 servings per day.
Mm.
Sounds like a lot, but they were getting a lot of it through vegetable brine drinks, so it's easier to take in that amount, vegetable brine and yogurt. And so they looked at these two groups. It was 18 and 18 people in each group, and they measured different measures of microbial diversity. And it turned out that it wasn't the fiber-rich group that increased microbial diversity. It was the fermented foods group.
Mm. That
If you
increased it at
measured
all,
it,
or they increased it more?
they increased it much more, whereas the fiber-rich group was really interesting because then they decided to go back to the fiber-rich group and see, well, what happened with immunomodulation, because the high fermented foods group increased microbial diversity, and all of them lowered 19 inflammatory markers. They all dropped. So we know that, and I think, sometimes there's some debate around this, but I've come to the conclusion that microbial diversity is the holy grail,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what type of diversity it is, because it could be a different diversity for the hot cell versus us. But microbial diversity is the holy grail for keeping inflammation down. And being on antibiotics is the worst thing that you could do for microbial diversity,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they went back and looked at the fiber-rich group, and they asked the question, well, are they all the same? And they found they actually weren't the same. They split them into 3 groups: a low diversity group, a moderate diversity group, and a high microbial diversity group. So they went back and just looked at the diversity of their gut microbiome. And what they found was that if they had high diversity and they increased their fiber, that it actually had a positive effect on immune regulation. So it actually helped regulate, kind of tone down the immune system. If they had low diversity with high fiber, it actually activated their immune system. So it did different things depending on what gut microbial diversity was at baseline for those groups.
Hey, this is Ari, and if you enjoyed this little clip, I highly recommend checking out the full-length podcast by clicking the link down below this video in the description. Check it out. You're going to learn a ton more valuable information. Also, as always, I want to mention at the Energy Blueprint, we offer a ton of solutions to help you increase your energy. And as a side effect, help you prevent disease, dramatically improve your brain function, your mood, combating anxiety and depression, increasing your resilience to stress, and increasing your longevity. All nice bonuses to strategies designed to massively increase your mitochondrial function and your energy levels. And we've got a whole suite of products, online info products that guide you on strategies to optimize your lifestyle and nutrition habits. We've got an Eat for Energy course. We've got a brain course. We've got an advanced fat loss strategies course. We've got a breathing for energy course, which I highly, highly recommend. People just absolutely rave about that one in particular. And we've got a whole suite of supplements, mitochondrial formula, a brain formula, energy essentials and superfoods, which is our comprehensive multivitamin and multimineral and superfoods formula. So thank you for watching this. Again, full length link to the full length podcast is down below. And check out theenergyblueprint.com for our whole suite of products that can help you dramatically transform your energy levels.